is going to be more of a blah blah video, and maybe even the video cuts because the battery died at some point. Not that kind of bullet pointing. But I want to talk a bit, at least, about my opinion on trade and so on. And it's first repeat what we just said in the last 2 minutes because we were kind of talking, and then we were like, we should record this shit. In my opinion, there is no objective argument to be made for going from free trade to isolation per se. I'll explain. It just has never worked. If you look at the US after World War One, so isolation, what does that mean? First of all, it means no or very little trade with other countries, or you high tariffs, so protecting your country. Obviously also infers less military on the outside, less diplomacy and so on, but we're talking mainly about economics here. What happened in the US was Great Depression. Google it. I mean, I have nothing more to say. China was a huge thing, country, whatever, in the, I really don't know the dates here, yeah, but kind of Middle Ages and before. I'm going to say like very vaguely sometime between Christ and 1500 after him. Including a huge trade with Africa and the Silk Road and all. Actually, the Silk Road was after?
Silk Road was, I don't I'm pretty sure it was like 1200s. Don't quote me, but
if the Silk Road was the 1200s, then the Silk Road definitely part of it. If not, then okay, let me Google it. Let me Google real quick, Silk Road time. But yeah, they Silk Road time period around 1200 to 1450 BC, CE, aka AD.
BC.
No,
okay.
CE, aka AD. I guess. I don't know what CE means, but yeah. So in those times, China was a flourishing, if you ask me, like the biggest, best country in the world. I don't know, maybe there was Persia or something, but we in Europe were all fighting each other with fucking knights, while peasants were dying in throes. I have no idea how peasants were doing in China at those times, but they were kind of a thriving country, and they were not in any danger of getting overruled by like a couple guys from somewhere. And then they went into isolation. I have no idea why. I need to research, and after that, when Americans English, British colonial people came around with, like a couple ships, a couple gunmen and so on. They were not able to invade all of China, but get, Beijing and so on, and Hong Kong and all of that stuff. Like, China had no power anymore. Because that's just what isolation does. You lose advantages. It gets kind of very economic if you want. Google comparative advantage, absolute advantage.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll do videos about that, I guess, at some point too, or try to. There is an argument to be made for, first of all, why we're talking about this, because it's a huge topic at the moment, yeah? Globalization, free trade, yes, no, Trump, Brexit, and so on. There is an argument to be made for small developing countries, definitely, that you don't want to go from isolation to complete free trade, getting rid of all the barriers too quickly, because then you open yourself to abuse, exploitation from very big countries, from huge companies and so on, because your country just doesn't have the infrastructure, the bureaucracy, the political development, and I guess just your average income level is probably so low that you're just way more prone to corruption because, another currency worth 100 times more, and so on. So developing countries have to be careful and slow in what and how they open themselves. I agree. Now, why, if I'm saying like globalization, free trade is so good, why are we having all these issues? Because I'm not denying that there are huge issues for many countries due to globalization at the moment, which is basically the loss of manufacturing jobs. Many countries being USA, Europe, I guess maybe, I have no idea about Japan and Korea to be honest, but and I'll try and put some sources also maybe, but what happens is that a small part of the population, definitely less than half, suffers a lot.
Okay.
Because they lose their jobs. Some of them find new jobs, sometimes worse, sometimes as good, some just don't, some just find worse jobs. While new jobs are created, but like on another side, it's just there is no way that someone who's been, wrapping chocolate goes and programs this. It doesn't work that way. You need a different education. The advantages of globalization are cheaper prices, more product variety, and so on. Cheaper prices is great if your income is the same, or even a tiny bit less maybe, and definitely if your income goes up. Cheaper prices does matter for jack shit if you go from earning $20 an hour to living on, Social Security aid. Price 10% cheaper, your income cut by 4, yeah, I rather have my income back. So it's completely understandable that these people have those issues. In the short run. In the long run, one of the main ways that this is countered is that, at least as long as you have, a kind of an education and so on, but people nowadays know that there isn't much of a job. Like, young people meet you and, not only everybody, you're kind of aware that manufacturing in Europe isn't much of a thing. So if you can, you try and study IT or whatever. Like, these new jobs which are needed, the young population goes into. But the old people, it's not that easy for a 50-year-old to go back to school and university.
True.
School, no way. University, you got a family, you need to earn. There are state retraining programs, some of which really help, some of which really try to help, but mostly fail or like kind of short-sighted or whatever. I don't know, an example I'll give very quick is one of very nice retraining program that people do is, or governments do, is training people to become truck drivers.
Okay.
Or bus drivers. If you ask me, 20 years, truck driving is automated to 80%.
Yes.
So then you get the same issue again, right? It's not like they're getting... What's easy to train a 50-year-old? An easy job.
Short-term solutions.
Yeah. But short-term solutions aren't really solutions either, right?
Yeah.
And also you just need a certain amount of truck driving, and at some point you're done, right? But yeah, like that's really one of those things where I'm like, not really that useful. Especially since it's also not the most... It's a job you have to be ready for, like, I don't know, kind of forcing people into, because truck drivers, they don't drive like, from Berlin to Hamburg 5 times a day and then go home. They drive from, I don't know, Ukraine to Madrid and see, and then you have a couple, but you don't see your family during those 3 days or whatever. Or you have night shifts or whatever, because that's where you can actually drive in the sea, and I don't know what. So yeah, what's the solution here? The thing is that, what I believe makes these issues worse at the moment so much is that at the same time, average life expectancy is going up. So, I'm sorry if I'm sounding like a huge dick right now, but I have to. 100 years ago, guys died at 50. Well, if you only had your job till you're 40, then went away. Globalization is just 10 years until young people come up and replace you. Nowadays, guys meant to work till 65 and live till 80, maybe also went to work a bit longer than 65 because his income is shit, his rent is shit, and he probably doesn't even have a job half the time. If he loses his job due to globalization and manufacturing job. And you have to find a way, you have to find a solution for 25 plus years and not 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years, you can say whatever, you get your rent 10 years early, yeah. I'm grossly oversimplifying. While at the same time, technological progress has exponentially grown. Jobs disappearing has exponentially grown, and there's a difference also, I guess, between job switching from agriculture to sewing, which is what happened in the Industrial Revolution, where, well, okay, I know how to farm, I rather farm, but if I really have to, I can learn how to sew in 5 hours. I mean, probably sometimes it's literally 10 seconds. It's, you take this, you do this movement, and you do that for the next 10 hours. 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, 14 hours. Fucking shit job, but I could do it, you could do it, right? If your job, whatever is, gets lost, and the new job is, because of automation, computers, is designing robots, it is just not the same learning progress. We're coming back to the same thing. How do we fix this? I honestly don't know. But I honestly think that is the question we need to be asking at the moment, and not get away with globalization. The issue is that, first of all, we need to fix the education system in many countries. We don't need that much service. We don't need manufacture. What we need is computer in my eyes, is a future. Sure, some biology, some physics, and so on, but gene editing, I don't know what, but in for like computer technology is not even a course in most school programs, or maybe a little bit here, some, right?
That's honestly a
If you
problem.
ask me, it should be like first grade to fifth grade should be like learning of how do I not fuck up on the internet. I'm serious. For kids, this matters now. Kids starting playing around, like how do I not get robbed? How do I not, give my password to the wrong sites and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Things that privacy on Facebook,
Exactly. Yeah.
where people are like, parents sometimes don't use Facebook. What does a parent know about? Sure, my parents never explained to me. I don't even think my parents would have a clue. Yeah, younger parents might have a clue, but my parents sure don't have a clue about privacy on Facebook, even if they use it. So that definitely doesn't work there already. If you get into more technical stuff, no way. And then like after, I don't know, fifth grade, when you kind of get the mathematical foundation, whenever you would start with physics, maybe seventh, get going with.
Okay, so you're talking more like European point of view, but like
Yeah,
even from an Asian point of view, like
Go ahead.
my country, I'd say like 50% of people, they don't know how to operate a computer. Yeah. So for my country, I think like basic computer operation it should be part of the curriculum. Not just like, I'm not talking about like programming. I'm not talking about coding. I'm not talking
That's
about like
actually all
anything.
I
Yeah.
had in France. I had 2 hours.
Yes.
One for turning on and off the computer.
Exactly.
We spent one. I mean, I knew how to do it, but the teacher didn't.
I mean, yeah, but like
pressing the on button and then going on Windows and pressing the red button.
to us it seems like so stupid. Of course we know how to do that. That's so trivial. But like, yeah, I have seen people who like they don't know what.
My grandparents.
Yeah. Exactly.
My grandma. My grandma, I'm fascinated because she on her own taught herself, but not like by her own. I'm like going to courses and so on, but like from her own reach, she subscribed to some, I don't know, weekly or monthly. She called it like, I don't. So in some newspaper she read every week or month, there's like an article about computers in some states. And I mean, honestly, it's a joke, yeah. But she always reads it. Like she makes a point out of it, and she's like, "Yes, I read this," and I'm dying inside because of. But I don't know. She's super scared of phishing mails, or I don't know what.
That's
Like she's like, I read this article about, and so on, and then it's like the most important thing ever because it's very selective information. But she's trying to. She uses an iPad and a laptop. For she's going through my grandpa has no clue. My grandpa,
Even my mom has no
grandpa
clue.
writes phone numbers on the back of the phone on the paper.
I mean, even my mom doesn't have a clue how to Skype with me actually. Like she knows how I install like a Viber, which is a WhatsApp equivalent, yeah, on her phone. Press here, yeah, you call me. That's all they taught her. She doesn't know how to like use Skype, and she was a database programmer in the 80s. Yeah, she wrote like lots and lots of programs. She actually was a teacher too. Like she like actually did system training, like had system training classes. And now look at that. She doesn't know how to operate Skype. I mean, she really could, but I don't know what it is either. Like lack of interest. I don't know. It's something stupid. Really.
No, it's what with age. Like when you're a kid, you learn everything so much faster. When you turn like 15, kind of passes. I'm convinced it has to do with that. It's just the human capacity to learn just goes away. Like the capacity to, I don't know, you're still able to read something and learn text in that way, but in kind of intuitive playing around and seeing what happens.
Yes.
Because like smartphones don't come with an operating manual. You download something. You have no clue. Like you just press. I mean, for example, on my phone, I don't know at first how to get rid of full screen on YouTube because it's fucking weird. I press all the buttons. At some point it works. Like at some point I found out I had to turn the phone when it was on. Fucking random, right? But if you don't know and you're not a young person anymore, you either look for a button, get rid of full screen, or you're like, ugh.
Like even like
Because you just.
Touchscreen is a very very new concept. Like even like they wouldn't be. We would search for like 50 years later. Maybe there's something different, yeah. Like and then we would look for like touch and like touch screen.
I mean,
like
look at
we'd
Google
look
Maps,
for
right?
something there. and then we wouldn't find it, and then we'd like to have to ask our grandchildren how to do that. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if, for
Yeah.
example, it's eyesight control or something. Like you
Exactly.
look and see where you
Yeah.
look and the thing is that nowadays it's not even like operating a computer that important anymore. It's like I don't even know. There's definitely some worries to be had around here and some
Well,
songs.
this is becoming much more like a podcast.
No, that's what I said at the beginning of the video. This is going to be more podcasty. That's
Yeah.
why no bullet points and so on. This is more like us talking to our footage in the background.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the question isn't free trade, yes, no, or whatever, because
Back to that.
those jobs are not coming back because
Automation is
automation.
coming. Yeah.
Automation is cheaper than an American worker or a European
Yeah.
worker
Exactly.
in
Like
most jobs.
look at like the Amazon shop.
Amazon Go, for example.
Amazon Go. Yeah.
Or just look at the Amazon because we had this in IEM, which is Industrial Engineering Management. We look it onto like warehouse technology, for example. It's massively automated.
Exactly.
Not everywhere, but like newer ones and so on. It's very massively automated. You have fully automated huge warehouses, fully automated.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe unloading not. That's the only question. I'm not sure. Yeah, but like labeling and so on.
Of course. Yeah. That's
putting, taking back out, everything automated. Then
like-
back labeling, putting the.
industries like that. Yeah. Of course. Like I wouldn't.
We're talking about Amazon, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like Amazon is. We're not talking about something simple, which is like we have stones or we have metal, and we staple it, like either put it in or we take it out. Amazon, there is a enormous amount of different stuff in random places and so on.
Exactly.
And it's cheaper than humans in most cases.
Which is yeah.
So that's why it's kind of the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
The
for
globalization
example,
leads to a decrease in prices, an increase in product variety, and so on.
jobs are going to be very, very, very like scared. I'm honestly scared for jobs in the future because
You
Yes.
think? So what you're saying is that automation could actually like abolish jobs in that sense?
not fully, because there are going to be like automation engineers. Yeah, like they're going to be.
Yeah, but there's just going to be like one in 1,000 and all.
Yes, exactly. Like for most jobs today, I think like automation would do it, but
Right,
like
I
for
mean,
innovative,
That's
innovation,
true,
yeah.
but like the question
No.
is, are there going to be new jobs or not?
Yeah, that's probably there is going to be a lot of new jobs. I feel so.
Space travel?
I honestly
Yeah,
don't know.
like
I think
how
like
do you even space travel? I think honestly doing predictions here is very hard.
like, I don't
Because for
know.
example, maybe gene editing.
we wouldn't know until something like actually happened. We would never
we
know.
can theorize. Yeah, we would never know. We can theorize. I think that it's possible. I'm convinced that if we, the world were happy people, where everyone is smart, we could in 50 years create utopia in a way.
We could,
To a very
but
strong
what does utopia look like? Does it look like Wall-E?
Hmm?
Have you watched Wall-E, the movie?
No.
Okay, so
I guess it gets tricky, but I mean, like,
Okay.
utopia in the sense of everyone is fed
Mm.
and has water and a house without having to work,
okay.
which for me is already a great improvement over what we have today. Then, like, I don't know. That's not gonna happen under our current political and economic system in the fucking.
Yeah, true.
Like I'm saying, it's theoretically possible. I do not believe it in any way. Like,
Like we could
even
create
if the revolution I want to have happen, kind of ish. I come to the other topic again. But like, I'm for a lot of change in many different ways, even with all of that happening. Like, which I'm kind of not hoping for, but way more hoping for than expecting. Nah,